Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Jen Josie. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Jen Josie. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jen Josie, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop. On today's episode, we have a guest that will be sharing their badassery. But before we begin, here's today's badassery bestowment, my little badass gift to you. Today's topic is the importance of determining a solid after repair value. RAIN Nation, ARV is not a cute little number you toss into a spreadsheet to make the deal feel better. ARV is the foundation. It's the compass. It's the thing that tells you whether you're about to print money or light it on fire with confidence. When your ARV is wrong, everything downstream is wrong. Your offer is wrong. Your rehab budget gets tight. Your holding costs stretch. Your lender gets nervous. Your profits disappear. And when you're standing in a half-finished house wondering, why is this suddenly trying to fight me? Here are 5 reasons why a rock-solid ARV is a non-negotiable. Number 1, ARV determines your offer price. You don't buy based on what you hope it will be worth. You buy based on what the market will actually pay. A strong ARV keeps your offer anchored in reality so you don't overpay and spend the next 6 months trying to make it work. Number 2, ARV protects your profit margin. Profit isn't what's left over. Profit is what you plan for. If your ARV is inflated, your margin is fake. A conservative, well-supported ARV is how you build a buffer for the surprises that always show up in real estate. Number 3, ARV keeps your rehab scope honest. If your ARV says the neighborhood supports courts, upgraded lighting, and a killer kitchen, great. If it doesn't, stop trying to force a luxury flip on a starter home street. ARV tells you what level of finishes the buyer expects so you don't overspend on upgrades that don't pay you back. Number 4, ARV helps you move faster and more confidently. When you know your ARV is solid, you can make offers faster, negotiate harder, and stop second-guessing every decision. Confidence comes from comps, not vibes. And number 5, ARV builds credibility with lenders and partners. Private money, hard money, JV partners, everybody wants to know what you're not guessing. When you can explain your ARV with clear comps and clear logic, you look like a pro and get funded like a pro. So, RAIN Nation, here's the badass bottom line. ARV is not the end of the deal. It's the beginning. Get it right and everything gets easier. Get it wrong and you'll spend the whole project trying to outrun math. Do the work, pull the comps, stay conservative, and be the badass who buys it right the first time. Now, on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. Today's guest is Brent Bowers, real estate investor, coach, and land specialist with a serious passion for buying and selling vacant land. Brent also served as an Army officer for over 8 years, and like a lot of high-performing people, he hit that point where success on paper was costing him what mattered most, time with his wife and family. So he made a change. In a short period of time, Brent expanded his business, hired a team, and built a model that let him keep producing at a high level while being present for his family. While Brent invests in multiple types of real estate, his favorite strategy is vacant land, and he loves teaching others how to do it too. He lives by Bob Burg's quote, "Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first." And you'll feel that heart in the way he coaches, serves, and shows up for other investors, especially veterans and people looking for a simpler, scalable path to real estate. It's my pleasure to have him back on the show. So welcome, Brent Bowers. Woo! Welcome back, sir.
I love all the sound effects. Thanks, Jen, for having me a second time. I'll have to bring twice the power on the second one, that's for sure.
I'm telling you, you were on an episode 82, and I'm about to hit 300 here. So it was back in February of 2022. So 3 years ago. Goodness gracious. So It is so good to see you. Give us, for those who have never met you, give us a little background how you got involved in real estate.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've always wanted to be in real estate. Always wanted to do it. I was reading The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump in middle school. I always wanted to be a business owner, entrepreneur, salesperson. I was employed for a while, 8.5 years in the military. I was probably a terrible employee, but I got stuff done. I got promoted quick, but you can only rise so fast by working for someone else. In my case, Uncle Sam, the man. I think I made $4,000 a month, and I worked my absolute butt off.
Yeah.
So we had our first baby in 2016. I was gung-ho for the military because I had just went from enlisted to officer. And when that baby came out, I was like, okay, I'm about to go on a third deployment away from home again. I'll be gone for about 1.5 years because we got train up time. I was like, I can't keep doing this. I got to figure out a way to make money without leaving home. And everyone talks about the passive income. I don't believe real estate's passive. There's nothing passive about it. You want a passive marriage? See what happens. It's just like you want to be passive with your children. They'll have parties at your house, And we actually just experienced that. We let our dog sitter have a couple friends over. It turned into 150 people at our house. But
was your dog okay?
She was fine. Absolutely. So, but anyhow, it's like, I have cameras on the house. I probably should have, had them working type thing because I was being passive. So long story short, to answer your question, I started buying and selling vacant raw land in about 2015. And by 2018, I was making so much money, I was able to get out of the military.
Wow.
I was doing roughly about $12,000 a month coming in net at that time. And we built quite a bit of seller financing notes where I would sell that land on payments to other people where I was being the bank.
That's passive right there.
Yeah, it does. It's almost like having a rental property where nothing ever breaks. But sometimes people stop paying for that land. So what I got to do? I got to resell it.
Yeah.
So my business was built on a couple $100s a month, multiplied many times over.
Wow.
One time we were up to almost 98 notes. We're lower now. We're at about 20 because I've kind of shifted my focus on bigger parcels of land as well as putting brand new mobile homes on land. We're kind of sharing God's love through affordable housing. There's a huge problem in this country. Most people cannot afford a house.
Right.
And we're still about 2.5 million houses short. I know that developers are doing their best to fill that with workforce housing, and I say that with air quotes, but I am doing my best to fill it with a piece of land with an affordable, brand new manufactured home. Some people call it land home packages. I call it, brand new manufactured home on land. And that allows like FHA home buyers, USDA home buyers, VA, and even conventional loans at very affordable prices. And we're making a bunch of money doing it. It's absolutely been an incredible shift in my land business. So I'll be quiet for a moment.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service, first and foremost. And I know you invest in other types of real estate, and land is primary where you put your focus, but what other types of real estate are you into? Just real quick. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm kind of one of those guys where I'm always wanting to do something different. Like literally, I thought of another business idea on the way home today from dropping my son off at school. I had like a full-on 45-minute conversation with ChatGPT about it, but I'm going to shelf that project. So I buy other types of real estate to do 4 different things. 1, build equity. 2, create more cash flow, passive income. 3, debt pay down, like our tenants pay. The tenant giving us rent pays down the mortgage. And the 4th most important one to me at this point in time is land. I don't get any tax shelters. I don't get to have a tax shelter with land. But if I buy a mobile home park or a light industrial building on a piece of land, I now get to depreciate that thing through either cost segregation or the long extended depreciation. But basically, if I have a $150,000 tax bill for 2026, I can buy about a $600,000 property, 100% debt, no money out of my pocket, and almost eliminate that tax bill completely.
Wow.
Then my tenants pay down the mortgage, and then it appreciates. And then I also get cash flow from that. And eventually one day in 15 years or 12 years or 10 years, whatever, however long my note is, I now have 100% cash flow because the property's paid off. Now there's always going to be repairs, always. But I invest in mobile home parks as well as light industrial buildings. I do not like apartment complexes. I own one. I'm trying to sell it. I own multiple houses. I'm trying to sell all of them. I don't like those. That's a different world. I've been operating in it for a while, and that's this very slow way to build wealth and passive income.
And give you a lot of headaches in the meantime too, right?
Yeah. Something always breaks. Tenants always say they paid, but however, I recommend if someone's going to be in that space, be in markets where there's very good schools, because I have some in markets where the schools are terrible and the tenants don't pay.
Gotcha. So I know land is your favorite, but what is a misconception people have about buying and selling vacant land?
Yeah, one of the biggest misconceptions I had when I started was I grew up in Okeechobee, Florida. You mentioned Broward, Okeechobee County. People that own land in Okeechobee County were rich, wealthy. Were ranchers or dairy farmers. I was none of those 4. So I never realized you could buy land and make money with it. So that's a huge misconception, is land doesn't make you money. You sit on land and you wait. Well, I didn't have money to wait. So when I bought a piece of land, I needed it to be profitable immediately.
Okay.
So I'll tell you the first piece of land, I probably mentioned it on your show back number 82, 3 years ago. I bought that first parcel of land for $285 and sold it a couple days later for $5,000. The second one I bought for $500 and I sold that one a week later for $500 down, $400 a month. The third one I bought for $75,000, but I got a loan from a bank, actually USAA, for half of that, about 30 grand of that at 14%. And I'm like, holy crap, 14%, that's scary. But the seller basically did a seller carryback on the remaining amount at 0%. So it kind of washed out to where it turned into like 6% loan. And then I resold it for like 30 grand down, paid that 14% loan off, and was monthly cash flowing every single month. Because I sold it for 150K, bought it for 75.
So it's mostly buying low and then selling high shortly after.
Yeah, you pretty much hit it on the head. Absolutely.
So, but how is it? Because a lot of the listeners, they flip houses or they have buy and holds, and it's super sexy to go in and choose your finishes and things like that. So what is it like investing in land? Are there what type of risks are there? And then how do you protect let's go there. How do you protect yourself?
Well, they ain't making HGTV shows about it, that's for sure. So it's kind of boring. It's kind of boring. Hence why I've started putting brand new mobile homes on the land. It's really fun. But yeah, you do 350 something land deals, you're like, this is boring. However, there's a huge movement called boring businesses.
Yep.
The boring stuff makes the most amount of money.
Yep.
And it's like, if we're looking for excitement, we need to get a hobby. Like, our day job can be boring, but there's nothing sexy about it. I could do the before and after photos, and it's like before or after, no changes, unless it's like an area where there's 4 seasons.
Well, is there like a checklist or something? Like what makes it a good piece of land to purchase?
Yeah, I got a checklist if anybody wants it. It's called my land buying roadmap. It's also my due diligence checklist. It's like 14 items on there that have kind of actually got me in trouble where I almost lost money or I
Oh,
lost some
wow.
money, or anybody can get it at thelandsharks.com/DD as in due diligence. But
And Land
what?
Shark, by the way, is your community of people who
Yeah,
go out and buy land and eat it up because they're sharks.
that's right.
Yes.
We're a bunch of sharks. Community of sharks is pretty powerful.
And you have a
But
rhino behind you. You got to show.
yeah, I got the rhino. We want to be blasting through walls, not like an old cow just standing there in the pasture eating. We want to be constantly charging. It's actually come from a book called Rhinoceros Success by Scott Alexander.
Oh,
Great read, hour-long read. Actually, I'm going to hold that for that book.
okay. I'll let you save it for the end.
Yeah, we'll save it to the end. But
Checklist,
yeah,
things to look for. What do you do when you're looking for land?
what makes a good land is my process has changed so much from when I first started. I was buying really inefficient, garbage, landlocked, not accessible, not buildable stuff that I can get for real cheap because I didn't have any money at all back then and I can only think cheap. And you can make money. I don't want to discourage people against that. We all start somewhere, but it's just as easy to make 50 grand as it is $5,000 or $400 or $500. So now I look for land that's selling. Look for areas where land is selling. Where are people moving to? Oh, the Carolinas, the number one incoming states right now, Carolinas. So why not go and start making offers to landowners in that area at a lower amount? You don't have to offer 10 cents on the dollar or pennies on the dollar or 50 cents on the dollar. I mean, you can get away with offering 69 cents on the dollar and still make a fortune doing this. So we have a system where we find the land selling, we price it out, and then we make the offers. We have a program that makes the offers every single day for us. Sometimes if you can do it once a month, you can do it once a week or once a day. It depends on how quickly you want to get a deal. But that's the first thing I look for. Is there demand?
How do you find the land?
Oh yeah, there's great software programs for free out there. Zillow, Redfin, you can see where the land's selling. And then once you see what land is selling, then you can pull a list of landowners. We've got a great website called thelandsharksdata.com. You can pull lists for $25 a month. You can pull a bunch of lists, and then we have a program that will mail that list offer letters. And if anybody wants to get my templates and everything we use, we got mail credits. Actually, I think they have got a free version now as well for people to kind of get started. Because when I started, I didn't have any money at all. I was using Capital One and American Express. And I already had maxed out credit cards for my rentals, unfortunately. But our program we use to send out the offer letters is thelandsharks.com/CRM. And I just want to let people know that these are affiliate links that I don't own this software program, but these are the tools I actually use. And if people click on it and they pay, I make a few dollars actually. It's pretty nice. It's just so cool that they let me put my name on these things.
That is very cool. So I coach students for a program. It's called Rental Property Pro with my friend John. And I just had a student the other day. They're looking at a 20 property portfolio, but it comes with 6 lots. Ooh. And we're you're taking notes. They are and you're drinking your moonshine over there.
That is quadruple filtered water with minerals added to it. I'm very proud of the water. Florida water is terrible. You got to do something to it to drink it.
Yeah, it is. Agreed. So they have these extra lots. They have no idea what to do with them. What would be your suggestion? Or is that something where it would pick up that, oh, this is getting sold? Or how's that work?
I mean, personally, the first thing I would do is go on Redfin or Zillow, see what land is selling for in the area, figure out what realtor's selling that land and call them and see, hey, what can we sell this for? What can you list it for? And oh, by the way, I want to hold financing. I'm happy to seller finance, and then just collect a monthly payment for 37 years.
Okay, I think we should just end on that. That was such a nugget right there. I can't wait to pass that. I didn't even think of telling them to do seller financing because they were looking for builders. They were looking for people because I think they're all in a row. So instead, just try to find someone who wants to build their own home and sell them the land and do it as seller financing, or even
who's going to pay more. And
Yep.
a builder that's got to make money, or Mark and Sally Smith that they want to build their dream home. That's the only piece of land they'll ever buy, but maybe they don't have the down payment, because usually if they go to a bank, they're going to need 50% down, but maybe they can give you $5,000 or $10,000 down and pay you $387 a month for the next 30 years. And then now when they go to build 5, 6, 7 years from now or sell it, they pay you off. Most of the time, I'm not lending people money for 30 years. I just copied what the banks do. You know, Franklin Delano Roosevelt FDR loan, he created this, you know, like, okay, we're going to give them a 30-year mortgage. The first 7 years is pretty much all interest. We know people move every 5 to 7 years. So, or they refinance or they sell it. So technically the bank collects, you know, 92 payments, and the payment only went down like $1,300 or $13,000, or, you know, not a lot.
Right. Exactly. What a great nugget. Thank you for sharing that. So what type of land do you look for? Are you looking for raw land? Are you looking for, as you corrected me before we hit record, infill lots we talked about briefly? Are you looking for landlocked? Are there ones that you avoid? Tell me what's the best type of land to buy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against any of those, really.
Okay.
I mean, landlocked, usually the neighbors are going to be the best buyers for it, so your buyer's pool is smaller. If there's access, like hard asphalt road, your buyer's pool is going to be a little bit bigger than a dirt road. So you want to think about things like that, but usually those parcels are more expensive. Like when I'm putting brand new mobile homes in, it's way easier for me to just place a brand new mobile home on a dirt road or a grass road. But when I'm going off of like a hardball asphalt road, now I got to do like concrete driveway. So my driveway costs like 3 times more. But there's more people out there with tiny Honda Civics rather than 4-wheel drive trucks. You know, more people want to be able to just get to their property rather than having to go down a bumpy trail to get to it.
Now, I have neighbors in the back of my neighborhood, Bob and John, who we love, and they just bought 2 lots behind their house that is landlocked. They don't plan to really do anything with it, but they didn't want a developer building something right behind them. And then on the other side are train tracks, so it's really inaccessible. But that's, as you said, a much smaller buyer pool, and super smart of whoever had it to go to the homeowners around in that area. But how would someone develop land that is raw? Because I know we were talking before, infill lots already has all the water, the sewer, electrical things run to it, whereas you have raw land, you can't necessarily build on it. So what would be, like, if the land doesn't perk, but who would be your buyer for a situation like that?
Oh, you just threw a lot at me there.
I did. Sorry, I rambled because I have so many questions that I think I just threw them all in one.
Well, your neighbors that bought their lots behind them, I see that all the time.
Yeah.
I've never met a homeowner or a landowner that didn't want to own the land next door to them.
Right.
And they downright just get mad when someone develops it, like as if they own it or something. Case in point, I just talked to a gentleman yesterday. I almost feel bad to develop this land because it's about to take away a lot of his privacy. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll talk to him before I touch anything and just say, hey, here's what I mean, I would be happy to sell it to you if you can come up with something. I can give you like a couple days to get back to me type thing. Cause you know, I don't want to ruin someone's oasis either. Right. But going back to like, how would that person develop it? You know, they got to get the infrastructure in.
Right.
Either if there's no water, like city water or city sewer, then they need to drill a well and they need to put in a septic system. What type of septic system? They generally find that out from the health department, the county health department. Like I just called on 1 acre parcels of land. Usually I put mobile homes on 1.25 acre parcels. In this county of Florida, I had to put in a particular septic system that is nitrogen reducing. And it costs more because it's a smaller area.
What if the land doesn't perk to put in a septic?
Then you would do an engineered septic system, which is usually twice the amount of money.
I've heard that. What is an engineered septic system?
It just sounds really good when I say it. I don't really know, but no, I'm just kidding. Basically, they got to put in, different sands and rocks, and it's like a filtration system because really, the sewage and the waste and all your wash machine water goes into a tank, and that tank overflows and pushes it into a leach field that leaches into the ground, and the sand like we have sandy soils in Florida, so the sand pretty much cleans it like a filter.
Huh.
Well, if it's really rocky or clay, it's harder for it to filter. So that's what we call the percolation test,
Yes.
where water percolates almost like through a coffee filter.
And it's Perc, P-E-R-C. All these people who write P-E-R, what is the P-E-R-K? I'm like, no, it's P-E-R-C. Perc for percolate. Thank you for clarifying that. All right, I have a gazillion questions. So I was also telling you I'm actively looking for land because I have this I stayed at this one resort one time, and I'll give them a shout out, even though I'm not supporting them, but their name is Barkwells. I was tempted not to say their names, but there's a place called Barkwells here in North Carolina where it's completely fenced in, and there's a lake in the middle, and each cabin has their own little fenced area, and you can take your dogs, and the dogs run free throughout the area. They can go in the lake. They can do all this stuff. So I've always wanted to recreate something and do it better. Sorry, Barkwells, but do it better than them, closer to me so I can visit and take my dogs. What are some things that most buyers wouldn't know to look for in a situation like that, where I'm going to build maybe tiny cabins or little A-frames around there? So what are some things because like I see some land that's like 10 acres and you can only put one septic on there, and that certainly can't go for all of them. So any tips for me as I'm shopping?
First thing I would do is start talking to the city manager or the county manager or the mayor.
Okay.
And see where they'd like to see something like that placed, and where you could put in a little bit of density, where they would want to see density increase. Because I think if you align yourself with the city or the county, that's going to be the first step. Once you know where that's at, then start making offers to landowners once you have that information. Also talk to a realtor. Say, hey, I'm looking for any land in this specific area. That's where we use the landsharksdata.com and start pulling a list of landowners in those areas. Start reaching out to them, sending them letters saying, hey, here's my dream. Here's what I'd like to build. Would you be open to selling me your 37 acres, something like that?
Nice. I'd like 37 acres. So, all right, I'm going to kind of shift here a little bit because in my badassery bestowment, I talked about after repair value, or ARV. And it's pretty easy to go pull sold comps to determine what your property is going to be at the end. I'm assuming it's got to be tough to find comps, I guess you would call them comps, for land. So how do you estimate the value of land?
Yeah, it's actually not hard at all.
Oh.
We see what it's selling for, similar size parcels and kind of similar areas. And then we also call the realtors that are selling those parcels in those areas. And, I always say, hey, what's the 30-day blowout price? What's the get her done now price? Like, what would you sell this land for in the next 30 days? And that usually gives us a pretty good indication of what the land's worth right now.
Well, I mean, like I have a friend who had property in upstate New York, and it was over 100 acres. Like, how do you find another 100-acre parcel?
Yeah.
I guess how would you comp that?
Those get a little harder. That's why I want to see patterns.
Okay.
That's where the uncertainty comes in, and that's why we make piles of money in this business. The more uncertain we usually are, the lower price we got to get it at.
Got it. And then where are you telling your land shark community to buy right now? Like, where's a hot market to buy land?
I mean, anywhere in the southeast of the United States, people are flooding into, so that's kind of my area. So I tell them right where I'm at.
And then what's a typical exit strategy? I love the whole seller financing, but is that what you do is that kind of the goal, to buy the land, then hold the note as people are building on it? Or if you have to sell it, like?
My goal is always to do as little as possible and get paid for as long as possible. However, most of the time, it doesn't always happen like that. People have lines of credit, people have cash, developers have money. I do sell to developers as well. I'll sell to anybody that wants to buy it. But yeah, there's so many extra strategies, so many ways. I've I've teamed up with builders where I got paid a percentage of profit plus the amount for the land at the end. That's a little bit more risky, actually, by the way. I wouldn't recommend to start there. But, I've wholesaled, I've assigned my contracts where I just basically got it under contract and Bob the builder's buying and I sell it to him and make my quick 5, 10, 15,000 and
Nice.
move on to the next one. I'm not, honestly, at the end of the day, I don't have a specific like cookie cutter, one size fits all. There's so many options in land. I can't even we could sit here and mention quite a few, and there's probably still more options.
And every time you say mobile home, you always use the two words brand new mobile home. Why is that specific that you're only putting brand new mobile homes?
Yeah. And I'm actually changing my language because a lot of people have these stigmas of mobile homes. Like they picture the 1959 black, dark brown panel board, single wide trailer with holes in the floor. That's the kind of stuff we grew up in. I never lived in a mobile home, but I had friends and I was like, these things are junk. The ones I put in, they're brand new manufactured homes. Like the reason why I want brand new is one, because I want to put my name on it. Two, I want it to last for 30 years if someone's getting a mortgage on it for 30 years. Three, I don't want people thinking it's a mobile home when they walk into it. I want people to like, dang, like this is nice. Like we do all drywall in most of them. They've got fireplaces, upgrades like standalone tubs, walk-in showers, and also they need to be brand new for FHA lending requirements. There's a reason why we get so much available lending. It's because it's brand new. It's never been moved. It's got to be physically attached to that property. It's never leaving.
And I mean, this is a random question, but are you working with a mobile home builder that maybe you're getting because you're buying in volume, or how does that work? Okay.
Yeah, we go directly to the manufacturer.
Okay.
That way we get direct manufacturer pricing. That's one of the secret sauces. That's one of the reasons why we generally make anywhere from, our bottom line or the lowest one we've done is $45,000 net profit.
Wow.
Because we're getting the land at a discount through the land sharks methods. And then we're getting we're getting the mobile homes directly from the manufacturer. And then we're also saving money in the middle as well on certain other things.
Do you know Adrian Smood?
Nope.
He's in your neck of the woods. He's a mobile home guy. He's in a little more north of you, more central Florida. But so I'm assuming you're not buying just in Florida, that you buy all over the place. You said, primarily the Southeast.
Yeah.
Are you walking the land before you buy it? Do you have boots on the ground there that does stuff for you? So are there properties? I'm sure you've bought properties that you've never stepped foot on. So what does that look like?
Most of them I haven't stepped foot on. But yeah, we always find the experts in the areas. I can just name off a couple of states. We're doing this in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, Colorado, and Florida. Those are the 7 states I'm in right now, personally. Okay. I always team up with an expert or someone I've trained how to do this. And that's how we're accomplishing it. We hire the boots on ground, we hire the builder, the expert realtor. I don't just hire Uncle Henry that has a real estate license to sell these. I want to hire, when I sell a piece of land, I want the land sales specialist real estate agent to be listing my land. When I sell a brand new mobile home, I want the guy that sells all the mobile homes in the area to be listing my properties. Not just the junky ones, but also the brand new ones as well.
So if they're walking the property, you have boots on the ground, what are they looking for that maybe may make you go, "Ooh, I don't want to buy that"? Or what are some red flags that they may share with you?
There's a bunch of things we've got terrain, elevation. What does the water, how easy is it to get water? Does the land percolate type thing? Are there other builders in this area building stuff, or are there other mobile homes in the area? It just goes to the same model as the land sharks. Is land trading in this area? If no one's building mobile homes or putting brand new mobile homes in or selling brand new mobile homes or selling mobile homes, period, don't even touch the area.
Gotcha. All right.
You could go out and be a pioneer, but you could be very successful or get arrows in your back, you know.
So is there any one, let me rephrase this. Is there one land investing rule that you'll never break?
Yeah.
It's kind of a loaded question.
I have made a lot of mistakes. I talked about my due diligence checklist, the landsharks.com/DD. Those 14 items, I don't break those. Like, I want to know what the access is. I want to know what the water situation looks like. What are we going to do for septic? Is it sewer? Is it buildable?
Yes.
Another one I should add to that, can we get a permit? Did we buy title insurance? Always, always, always title insurance. Policies, surveys, site plans. There's so many things. We make a lot of money doing these. I just paid my partner out on 2 of them. We made $51,000 on one and $50,700 on the second one. Like, you got to do your homework to do this, make this kind of money. Like, but there's been times where I've gotten like really a little bit like move too fast, arrogant, cocky, have a little bit ego. Like, oh yeah, I can make money with any piece of land. I look at the numbers and I miss one step. I didn't call the county to make sure it was buildable. The county wants me to put in curbs and gutters and asphalt roads, even though 90% of the homes in that area do not have it. They made an example out of me. So I lost money on that one. Or I'm actually still holding it. But we had a little pivot. I put a brand new barn on it. And now I'm renting out the barn, lease with the option to buy type thing. So I think I'll dig myself out, but what should have been a 30-day play turned into like a 4-year play.
Oh, gosh. Wow. Well, if there is a member of the Rain Nation listening today that wants to get started in buying land in just like, say, the next 30 days, what's their first step?
Yeah, see where the land's selling. Get in the game. So many people are like, oh, I'm sitting on the sideline waiting for the market to crash, waiting for interest rates to come down, waiting for my 3rd child to graduate high school. Stop kidding yourself. Either do it now or just forget about it.
Yes.
Like, I think the reason why I had so much success in this or anything, like I started in house hacking before it was a thing, and we did very well with it. I was in college, then I did very well in Airbnbs, and then I did very well with land, and I'm now doing very well branding mobile homes on land. I think it's because I don't sit around and think about it. I'm just like, all right, let's go figure it out.
Let's do it. Yep. And it's a great area of real estate to do the mobile homes because people need the affordable housing right now. So I really love this concept, and listeners out there, do it now. I think that is a great one. Just get started, and what a great concept. So I want to move to the second part of the podcast here, which is what makes Brent Bowers a badass. And I use the acronym BADASS, and the first letter is B for book. So here I'm lobbing it back up. Let's talk about that book that you were discussing before.
Well, I always say the Bible, but we already talked about the Rhinoceros Success. It's called Rhinoceros Success by Scott Alexander. And it's about being a rhino and just taking action and charging. Every morning, having your running shoes right there next to the bed, running out of bed, charging. And it's such a fun little listen, even if you listen to it on Audible. I recommend listening to it on Audible, actually. I prefer people to read a real book. But that's one I recommend to read and listen. It's a great listen.
And it was your not screensaver, but whatever
my background.
Well, it's your background, but it was also before you put on your video. So it was on your, what is that? Yeah, there it is. Thank you. What the heck is that called?
Just a rhino crashing through a wall.
I love it. All right. The first A in badass is for advice. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Yeah, I will say so much. I think I got it today. I got the advice today. If we take every experience and learn something from it, there's never failure. You'll never fail as long as you learn from every experience something from it. And we seem to learn less from our celebrations and our wins. We actually learn more from our failures.
Yes. Wow, so well said. All right. The D in badass is for drive. What drives you to be successful?
Yeah, I want to win. I say, and I want everyone around me to win as well. Just
Hmm.
because I win doesn't mean someone else is going to lose. Unless, we're four-wheeler racing, then I want to win and you can lose. But, we race four-wheelers on the weekends, by the way. It's the most expensive hobby I've ever had. I lose a lot of money doing it, but we have a blast. But, and I've been losing a lot lately. They moved me into a harder class, and I'm really starting to hate the sport because I don't like getting beat so much. But like the success, I think, is just sleeping very well at night.
Mm, very good. I think the only time I've ever been on a four-wheeler was in Central Florida. Goodness, probably like, I don't know where. I was in the middle of orange groves somewhere. So, there's
Yeah.
plenty of those around there.
Oh
All
yeah.
right. The second A in badass is for aspiration. I'm a big goal setter. So what is a goal you are currently working on?
Yeah, I want to sell two of these a month consistently,
Mm,
two brand new manufactured homes on land per month. And I've actually been hitting that the last couple months. So I'm I'm almost there, I think, but I want to do two per month for the next 12 months. One, because it's an income goal. Two, because I wanted to get the consistent system down
mm-hmm.
and then have it something to where it's just like it's eventually operating without me.
Do you ever hold the mobile homes in
No,
the land? Or no,
I buy
okay.
mobile home parks,
Okay.
but I don't create mobile home parks. No,
Do you
I don't
own the
hold those.
mobile homes in the mobile home parks?
Yes, so we
Gotcha.
buy it with the mobile homes and then we sell them to our tenants.
Ah, very nice. Home ownership. I love it. All right.
Yeah.
The first S in badass is for systems. What systems do you have in place to help you achieve success?
Yeah, I mentioned a couple of them, and we track. Well, just hired an amazing accountant that's helping me track like profit and loss and balance sheets and QuickBooks and things like that. So we actually know if we're making money or not. Because our tax return says one thing, but I want, I like, and not that I'm cheating the government. We're just doing exactly what they say for us to do as real estate investors. But yeah, so quite a bit of systems. There's systems all around us. And my calendar, I literally live by my calendar. You can tell what's important to someone by looking at their calendar. Oh, I do this for my family and my wife and my kids. Well, let me look at your calendar.
Yep.
Oh, it's all podcasts and business meetings and this and that. Where's your wife and kid time?
Yep. All right. I could talk to you all day, Brent Bowers, but the final S in badass is for success. What does success mean to you?
Sleeping very well at night. Yeah.
Very
Healthy
good.
children, healthy wife. I just want to make sure everyone knows like money doesn't really make you happier. It's just a tool is all it is. And, I think if you are going through this world where you're just worried about yourself, you're not tithing, you're not giving to other people and providing a ripple effect like you are,
Right.
Jen, with your podcasts, like, I think Tony Robbins talks a lot about it. Like you want to have growth and contribution at the same time.
Mm,
So I'm always
yes.
growing. I'm uncomfortable. There's days I'm uncomfortable. I was actually really uncomfortable right before this. I had to pay out that profit. I was like, am I correct? Are my numbers right? Am I going to owe all these lenders millions of dollars? And I'm like, where did all the money go? But I'm growing.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm also contributing because we're teaching other people how to do it as well. I could hold all this advice to myself, but the more I talk about it, the more deals that come to me. It's amazing. The more you give, the more it comes back to you. It's the same thing with tithing.
Yep, absolutely. And there's so many people in the real estate industry who get it going where they get their systems in place and they're making money and it's coming through a lot of it passively. Well, we say somewhat passively. And then they're like, well, I could teach this to other people. And they're horrible at the coaching aspect of things. But I know your land sharks are just so successful. And that is to you because you are a great leader in this industry. So I am truly appreciative that you came back on the show. And one more time, how do the listeners find you and learn more about getting those checklists and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, head on over to thelandsharks.com. If you want, schedule a call. We can talk about your real estate investing goals and maybe I can point you in the right direction.
Well, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, Brent. Always good to see you. Hope I get to see you in another 3 or 4 years.
See you in 3 years.
Yes,
all right.
absolutely.
Catch you later.
And
God
that
bless.
is all. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josie by visiting therealjenjosie.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.